Welcome back, Mr. Witness. I hope you had a restful break.
Yes.
For continuation of your testimony before this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and Related Matters, I want to remind you again that you are still on the oath before I hand you over to Madam Chair for us to proceed. Thank you. Madam Chair, over to you.
Mayor,
Good afternoon.
you're welcome back.
Thank you.
Council, can you please proceed?
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon to the Honorable Commissioners, everyone present, the Secretary, and the Honorable Mayor.
Thank you.
Good,
Lead Council, I just have a document to submit. I don't know if I can submit it.
very well.
This is in regards to the cases by the lawyer, the validated one.
I just have two more vouchers for Kemo Boja so that the evidence will tally. Then I can have it admitted.
Sure.
Evidence. Thank you. And Sakamara, we can just have it here. After which I will apply to have it admitted into evidence. Thank you. The voucher number PV 210985. Payment made to Kemu Boja, being payment for the purchase of football field goalpost with their nets for 4 field within the municipality as requested attached. This amount is $235,800. Please have a look at this voucher. The request is attached. And also the itemized, a list of itemized expenditure. Okay, now turn to
Thank you. Yes.
do you recognize the voucher?
Not the voucher, but the request.
The request, right? All right. You approve the request?
Yeah.
Good. And what was the request for? Do you mind reading the
Lead
request?
Council up to the Lord Mayor, request for goalposts and nets. I write the request for the purchase of goalposts and nets for Bakote, Talinding, Charles Jau, and Kutu Kware. Nets from number one sport shop cost 9,500 for two. The total amount for this phase is 235,000, counting on your usual support and approval.
Good. Now, was it approved?
It says approved, DCO approved, please initiate. Then it goes to Director of Finance. It says approved, please process the request accordingly. Accounts, please process.
Good. The request was sent to you
The request, yes.
and you approved it.
Yes.
And on what basis was it approved?
He wanted to do an initiative to build goalposts.
All right. Now, do you know whether retirement was done? Retirement.
The?
Retirement.
No. I'll
Okay.
have to find out.
Fine. All right. Now, are there any, is the councillor?
Sorry,
Please, please.
when you say retirement, because this is not an impress.
No, it is an impress. When you give money to the councillor, how do you classify that? Then the manual talks about the classification of payments. Now, where would you classify this payment if it's not interest?
So it's requesting the purchase of gold.
Right.
Right, but it doesn't say it's impress. That's why when you say retire,
Right.
I don't understand.
Okay. So now, if it is not an impress, now where will you classify this? What kind of payment is it?
Because the CEO should have executed a procurement process.
Right.
We should not be an impress. That's why I'm asking. When you say retire,
Right.
implies that it is an impress.
Okay. That's why I asked that. Let's say if it is not an impress. Well, do you believe it's not an impress?
It, in my opinion, I don't think it should be an impress.
And why is that?
Because it's a request for the purchase of items.
Okay. So if money is given to the councillor, what would be the legality of that?
So, lead counsel and Madam Chair, just for the record, I have looked at the questions being asked about legality, and also I have checked with legal counsel, and I am not a competent authority to determine legality of matters. I think the competent authority is other bodies like the courts or committees. So it would be not appropriate for me to respond on legality of issues.
Okay, no problem. Let me rephrase. I think we can still get to the same thing. Now, on what basis is that payment being made? What is justification of that payment in relation to the relevant financial tools that govern the council?
That should be the duty of the administration to ensure it goes through the proper procurement channels.
Okay. Now, the head of the council oversees the CEO, correct? Yes. The CEO is answerable to council.
To the council.
Yes, good. And if the CEO is answerable to council, the CEO should be able to justify payments that are made, correct?
The CEO is.
Good. And the justification is made to council, correct?
To the council.
Yes. Was the justification made to council?
I don't believe this matter came to council.
Okay. Should the matter be should it have been forwarded to council?
Given the amount, it doesn't have to come to council.
Okay. Now you inform the commission that for payments made to councillors, they will be approved by the mayor. Correct?
No. For activities that the councillors want to carry out,
Yes.
and require resources of the council,
Right.
they need the endorsement of the mayor.
Yes.
Before it goes to the right authority.
Right. Now that's exactly what I'm saying. Now, when you endorse, how did you think this payment would be quite classified?
I would expect it would go through the CEO who would conduct the procurement processes.
So if the CEO did not conduct the procurement process and then give the council of money directly, that would be unlawful?
Well, did the CEO give money to the councillor directly?
When payment says payee, you can read the voucher, the payee. I mean, these witnesses, they testified here.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I can see it.
Yeah, Mr. Bojan testified here.
Yeah.
Now, would that be also not in line? It would not be correct.
You can say it's an administrative lapse, yes.
And so it is a violation.
So with the issue of violations, like I said, Madam Chair, on the issues I discussed on violations and legality, I am not the competent authority to decide those matters. On violations, I think that goes through a process where violations are determined, and I cannot, as an individual, determine what is violating or not. What I can say is, yes, it can be an administrative lapse from where is it.
All right. Now, when the CEO gave money to Mr. Boja, he said it's an administrative lapse. What administrative lapse are you referring to?
Well, like we said, CEO is the accounting officer of council.
Right.
Yeah.
So where is
procure the materials?
So where is the administrative lapse?
Like I said, I'm not the competent authority. That's why we have the contracts committee. We have the procurement committees. I know before you were asking and I was answering, but I have sought, like I said, legal advice, and I agree with that legal advice. I am not the competent authority to determine legality or violations.
You realize I have dropped the word legality, and I have dropped the word lawfulness, and I'm now trying to use the word that you have adopted.
Yeah.
All right.
Which one is?
Which is that it is a lapse, administrative lapse.
Yeah. So
did you not say that?
Yeah, so you asked me whether it's a lapse. I said yes. From where I sit, it could be a lapse.
Good. So you said these are administrative lapses. These are your words, correct?
Yes, I said it could be.
So that's why I now ask a follow-up question. Now, what is the lapse, administrative lapse that the CEO did not follow?
That's why I responded. CEO is in charge of all procurement of the council, so I expect the procurement should be carried out by the CEO.
Good. And so since the CEO did not do that, and then the procurement regulations required that it be carried out by the CEO, and it did not do that, that's why it lapses, correct?
The lapse from where I sit.
Good. And so that when you have a lapse, it means that the actions of the CEO were not correct.
That should be determined by a process.
So, Mr. Bensoda, you do not know whether something is wrong or right?
No, it's not for me to determine whether something is wrong or right. For example, you can murder somebody and the court can determine that is you're innocent.
Okay.
So I think it should go through a right process regarding the circumstances of that disbursement to determine right or wrong.
Right.
But from where I sit, without any other information other than this, it does seem like an administrative lapse.
Okay. So when Senator Martins then made an endorsement and then sent it to the bank for the loan, was that wrong or right?
With all the information I got, with all the data I received, with her confession, that I came to that determination.
Why would you not wait for the court to determine that?
She made a confession. I did not determine. I took it through a process.
Right.
So I took it to the General Council, to the Establishment and Appointment Committee, who concluded on that.
Right.
But from where I sat, I did ask her. She confessed that yes, in fact, she did it knowingly and wrongfully. And that's when I called the bank to inform them that you may be walking into an issue. And that's when I, like I said, moved a motion through the Establishment and Appointments Committee, which is the right body to determine violations and administrative lapses, who will forward it to the council with legal advice, make a determination whether we should push this matter to the right body, which is the Gambia Police Force and the Local Government Service Commission.
Right. So when Senator made this confession, how do you know it was a confession?
It was in writing and verbal in my face.
Why is the writing?
It's there. It's in the records.
Will you have to produce the records?
Of course.
Do you know a confession is a legal question? Do your lawyers know that?
Do I know?
That a confession, what amounts to a confession, is a legal decision.
Well, like I said, I'm not the competent authority, and I would agree with my lawyers to determine legality of matters.
Do you know that your lawyers have no authority to decide what is a confession or not? That it's also the courts that decide that.
Yes.
Good. So that when Senator writes something and says, I accept, and it is written as you were saying, then at that point in time, you can't even call it a confession. You know why? Because it is the courts that determine what amounts to a confession or not.
And that's why
No, but that's why you said, no, you had treated that matter. You said when you had the confession, you called the bank. When at that point in time, going by your own analogy and your own legal advice, it could not have been a confession because the court did not determine that yet.
I think we're mixing oranges and apples. At the time,
I can see that's your
I called the bank to inform them they may be walking into a violation based on the confession of the CEO, but I, as mayor, did not determine legality or violations. That's why I moved it to the appropriate bodies. That's why we could not take action on the CEO in terms of firing. We moved that to the Local Government Service Commission and to the Court of Law and the IGP of Police.
No, wait a minute. You cannot appropriate and reprobate at the same time. You cannot decide that when the argument does not favor you, it is a legal matter. And so when every text in the law is clear, it has to be decided by the court. And nobody operates anything. And even council's meetings, every decision has to be decided by the courts. That's my analogy. What I'm saying is it would not make sense. So that when you now say that you call the bank based on the confession, then confession in itself cannot also be going by your analogy, can't be determined by you. Only courts have the right to say this is a confession.
I believe I've lost trace of the question.
The question is very simple. The question is if Senabo is said to have confessed that you were not in the position to make that determination that that was a confession.
I was not in the position
to make a determination that that was a confession because it's a legal matter. You can ask your lawyers.
My understanding on confession is not about legality. It's when somebody admits fault while I am sitting and present.
Because are you the judge?
Like I said, my understanding of confession is not on law. My understanding on confession is when somebody decides to say whether they've done something or not.
Right.
If I send that confession in my layman terms to the court of law, the court of law presumes Senabo innocent or proven guilty. So that's why I said I am not the competent authority, because you're asking a lot of questions about legality, violations. At first, I was responding. At second thought, I thought about it, and with legal advice, I agree with that legal advice. That's why I want to put on record. I am not the competent person to determine legality or violations. What I can say is this a fact? Yes. Is this not a fact? No, based on my knowledge of what has happened or what has not.
Mr. Bensoda, if the CEO did not follow procurement process, would that be right or wrong?
In what procurement process?
In any procurement process.
That's why I said I need to see the circumstances surrounding the whole matter. With the documents you have presented, based that a councillor has received money, I can agree, yes, based on my understanding of what I see, it is an administrative lapse. But in terms of the violations there, in terms of the illegality there, I am not the person to answer.
Now, Mr. Bensoda, you mandated by the position you hold as the head of council to be familiar with the financial manual?
Yes, I should know the financial.
The council itself supposed to be familiar with the financial manual?
Yes, the council should read the financial manual.
Good. So when you did not classify grants as income, is that addition to be taken by the courts as well, or you knew it was wrong?
Sorry, I don't catch your question.
You understand my question. Now, when you did not classify grants as being part of revenue, when the act clearly states that grants and donations are part of council's revenue, you agree with me now, right? We have a common agreement on that.
At that point, I answered you. I said, yes, it is a lapse. You asked me whether it's right or wrong. I said, I cannot answer that.
So when
and the legality or violations, I cannot answer that.
Okay, it's okay. So when the law says on revenue and funds of council, that the revenue and funds of council includes all sums of money or funds accruing to a council, without prejudice to the generality of the Section 1, the revenue and funds of council consists of the following. When it says monies deriving from rates imposed by the council under or pursuant to the provisions of this act, be local taxes. Is there anything ambiguous about this that you don't understand?
The council, I believe interpretation of law is subjective.
Tell me,
the competent authority is the court in which of the lands. That's why I even give an example that you can see murder, but a court of law determines whether that murder occurred is a crime or it's not a crime.
Now, just
so I said I can answer on the facts that whether it is a lapse on my understanding.
Right.
But from the legal advice I have received, I am not a competent authority without involving the right process and without involving the courts to determine legality or violations.
That's very clear. And we will get to that, and we will see where you have taken decisions that involve law, and I will now remind you back of this statement. But before we do that, let me just ask you a simple question. When you read in the Finance and Audit Act that it says revenues of council, and it classified the revenues of council, would you not understand it?
Yes.
You will understand it.
On my understanding.
Of course, when you are the head of council, then there is no point for us to have a head of council when they can, for every decision, the person must go to court for simple interpretation? No, what would not happen? So, for instance, when it says that local taxes are part of revenue of council, do you understand? Or you need an interpretation?
Understand it.
Good. So when it says monies payable to a council under the provisions of any other enactment, monies derived from licenses, permits, dues, charges, rents derived from the letting or leasing of any building, do you not understand this?
Yes.
You don't understand. So project funds, donations and grants other than from general revenue, do you need legal advice for this or you understand this?
I understand it.
You understand it very well. So that if you understand it, it means that you know that what the law is saying that project funds, donations, and grants are part of revenue of council, correct? You understand that?
Yes.
Do you need legal advice for that?
Say it again.
Do you need legal advice for this? Do you need legal advice to understand this? No, not that. Do you need legal advice before you understand this?
Lead counsel.
Just answer.
No, I'm answering you.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, as a counsel or as a person who's not a legal practitioner,
Right.
I will always need legal advice on law.
Right.
I am not a judge.
Right.
I am not at a court of law.
Right.
That's why I was trying to correct myself
Right.
and correct my statement.
Right.
I cannot make judgments on legality or not. It would be wrong for me to do that. What I can say is whether facts are as I see them or they are not as I see them.
Sure.
That's why I said yes. If this money is given to the council,
Right.
as the facts present,
Right.
I can say yes, it's a lapse based on my understanding
Right.
of the process.
Right.
But can I jump to a conclusion and say it is an illegality?
Right.
That I cannot do because I am not the competent authority.
Right.
I don't understand the circumstances around the issue fully.
Right.
And it must go through due process.
Right.
I'm just making that correction.
Do you remember I had said I had dropped the issue of whether it's lawful or whether it's legal? You recall that? Now I have used the words that you are using. When I said lapse, when you said lapse, I'm now saying here that when you KMs did not include the grants in relation to being part of revenues of council. Now, was there any part of the law that you did not understand, that you needed advice from? That's why you did not put it there? That it is not clear, the law, when it said that project funds and donations are part of revenue?
A lapse meaning it was not brought to our attention or we did not refer to it.
Okay.
If it was brought to our attention or referred to us or seen by a committee, a regulator or a competent authority, then we would correct it, and that's what we have.
Right. So is it anywhere in the law that this has to be brought to your attention? Or are you mandated to acquaint yourself with your regulations?
That's why when it is not done, it is a lapse.
Please answer the question. Is it a requirement? It's a question. Is it a requirement that it must be brought to your attention, or are you mandated by law, officially occupied, to acquaint yourself with regulations? Both. Good. Now, so where is it stated that it must be brought to your attention?
I think the laws that set up the National Audit Office, the laws that set up Internal Audit Unit, and the Ministry of Local Government, who must inspect the councils, and the minister calls to ensure the council is following regulations, policies, laws, etc., should invite the council to a lapse when they do see it.
That's not the issue. That's not the question.
What is the question?
The question what you are talking about is pointing out what you did not do or what is at fault, what is faulty. I am saying acquainting yourself with the regulations are the head of council. The councillors are also the governing body of council, which is supposed to say the administration of council. Is it a requirement by law that when you assume office, that you must be educated, that you must be guided by what the law is, or is it just a mandate that you must familiarize yourself with the regulations? Both. So where is it stated that when you assume office, you have to be guided by as to what the law says? Can you point to us?
Acts that set up the National Audit
Can you show us where?
I can show you the Ministry of Local Government, section 151.
Says what? You mean to say the Local Government Act? Good.
Sorry, yes.
That's all right. I understand. Oh, that's okay. I understand. Section?
Hold on one second. Sorry. Section 150.
150.
It states inspection and monitoring of local governments.
Yes.
The inspection of local governments by the ministry and other state organs authorized by law shall promote, foster adherence to the rule of law and principles of natural justice and good governance, and foster the elimination of corruption and abuse of office, subject to the Constitution and any other law. An authorized person carrying out the inspection shall have the powers to enter and inspect the premises or property of any local government authority as may be relevant to the inspection, inspect books of accounts, record stores, any other document, and require any person to produce any documents or item connected with the inspection, and where necessary, retain any document or item connected with the case being investigated, and look into the matter on his or her own initiative or on complaint made to him or her by any member of public, whether or not the person has personally suffered any injustice by reason of that matter. An authorized person carrying out the inspection may attend any meeting of council or committee of a council.
Right.
So I think that shows that the ministry is supposed to inspect. You can also go to section 149, mandate of the ministry.
Right.
The ministry shall monitor and coordinate central government initiatives and policies as they apply to local government and ensure harmonization, coordinate and advise persons and organizations in relation to the projects involving direct relations with local government, assistance in provision of technical assistance to local government authorities, monitor and supervision of operations of local governments and their compliance with all laws, regulations, and national policies and guidelines, ensure transparency, accountability, and compliance. So to answer your question, yes, it is in law. That's why I said both, that we should follow the law, but also have bodies to ensure we are complying with the law.
No, my question was not about compliance. My question was never about whether there is a body that is to inspect your work. You see, let's check and balance, right? So that every institution, every office, when you are employed, and I will show you proof, even you at KMC do that when you send your appointment letters. You demand that they acquaint themselves with the law so that the inspection body will now see whether what you are doing is in line with what you are supposed to do. That's inspection. Nowhere from what you have read did it say that when you assume office, you should be guided by as to what should be done. He didn't say that.
Of course.
Read it again.
That's why the ministry is there.
No, read it again.
Is to guide. I've read it. I've understood it very well. The ministry is to guide the councils and ensure compliance with the law and policies of the land.
You would have been acting in your capacity, and then there would be periodic checks to see whether you are in compliance, Mr. Bensoda. This is basic.
It doesn't have to be periodic. It can be
okay. We would not spar over this, and I will show you your set of file was employed, and I will show you the offer of appointment letter, and I will want you to read it, especially paragraph G. Now, you confirm that is the file of asset of file.
Yeah.
Good.
Sorry. Yes.
We understand. Do you mind reading the offer of appointment?
Aisatufal Ratikunda Saviji, Ratikunda 7 June 2018, offer of appointment. I am pleased to inform you that approval has been granted to offer your appointment as Public Affairs Manager with effect from 1st June 2018 on the following terms and conditions. You will be paid a salary on grade 10.1 of the integrated pay scale. You will also be paid all allowances attached to the position. You will be on probation for 1 year when you will be eligible for confirmation in your appointment if favorable reports concerning your works and conduct are received. The appointment is terminable on either side upon giving a month notice or upon payment of a month's salary in lieu of notice. You will be required to conform to the financial regulations and staff conditions and services, and you are requested to acquaint yourself with them. Leave will be at a rate of
that's okay at that point. Now, G again. Can you please read again paragraph G?
Paragraph G, you will be required to conform to the financial regulations and staff conditions of services, and you are requested to acquaint yourself with them.
Good. So, what does that mean?
As it says, you are required to conform to the financial regulations and staff conditions of service, and you are requested to acquaint yourself with.
So, Aisatufal is expected to acquaint herself with regulations, correct?
Yes, financial.
All regulations. When an employee is employed, it's basic. They
I said I should paragraph G.
Yeah, yes. Regulations. I said regulations. Now, this goes to all other employees. They are usually advised to acquaint themselves with regulations. Correct?
Yeah.
Good. Because that is the right thing to do. Correct?
Correct.
Good. And so if your employer, which is KMC in this case, expects that the employee should acquaint itself, him or herself with regulations, is it just not expected that the employer would acquaint itself with regulations?
Both.
No, it's just one question. I didn't have two limbs in my question. It's just one limb.
You said if the is the employee required to follow regulations, and is the employer required to ensure that the employee follows regulations?
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me just take it back. If the employee is required to acquaint himself or herself with regulations, is it also not expected that the employer would have to acquaint itself with regulations?
Yeah.
Is it a yes?
Yes, I think everybody is required to follow regulations.
No, not follow. Acquaint. Acquaint is the word. Yes. Thank you. So we're on the same page. May I have the file? Now we go back to the voucher. May I please have that voucher? What are the supporting documents attached to that voucher? Yeah.
Seems like
Do we have, sorry,
bill of quantities.
all right. Are there outstanding, is there a file that, yes, please, may I have the files back. Now, please get this back to the mayor.
Yes.
Now, what are the supporting documents attached to that voucher?
What are the?
The supporting documents attached.
This seems like a schedule of quantities.
Seems like. Why would you say seems like?
Okay, there's a name and a telephone number.
But
it just seems like there's a schedule of amounts, quantities, unit prices, and total. And a name and a number.
Okay, seems would suggest it is not, the information is not complete and you're not sure.
It seems like an estimate.
Which you're not sure of.
I'm not sure of
the estimate. Do we know where that seemingly bill of quantity is from?
It says that it's by George Thea. Telephone number. I don't think I should read the telephone number, but
Okay, that's right. Is it written by pen or is it a typed information?
by pen.
Do we know whether that document is from George?
I cannot verify.
We can't verify. So that document would not be adequate, would it be, to give you enough information regarding what the supposed bill of quantity is, the authenticity of the bill of quantity?
Well, if it's a bill of quantity, I'm not an expert on bill of quantities, but I don't think there's the quantity, there's the unit price, and there's the total, and there's the description of the item. In my understanding, that would tend to amount to a BOQ.
Is it sufficient information?
That's for the procurement unit to decide.
Will if you as the head of council, sitting in the council, if you are to supervise the CEO and examine the CEO on this, would you hold this as sufficient or not?
I do not hold that expertise.
You don't hold that?
Expertise. That's why we have a contracts committee who have the expertise.
All right. So when you see a document that is not sufficiently adequate to refer to as a bill of quantity, you would not know.
I don't have the expertise to know how a bill of quantity should look.
Yeah.
Procurement.
Even if there is no stamp from the supposed supplier, it is handwritten. There is no evidence that the document emanates from the supposed supplier. You still would not know.
Be subjective in my common sense, but it's not my expertise.
So your common sense, what will it tell you?
I think it's sufficient.
It's sufficient.
In my common sense, yes, for BOQs, but that's why I have experts.
You refer to it as seems to be a BOQ. That's what you said. It seems to be a BOQ.
I've said it's not my expert area.
Yes, but you said it seemed to be a BOQ, that you are not sure that it's a BOQ. Are you sure it's a BOQ?
I cannot verify that, lead counsel. I'm not an expert of procurement. That's why we have a contracts committee,
Yes.
where we have put experts in procurement there. So we would the CEO
Right.
would exploit that expertise
Right.
in matters of procurement.
Okay. And so the CEO, whatever he or she does, you would not know, even if you look at the face of the document, you would not know whether it's authentic or not.
It is not my role to know whether it's authentic.
What is your role? You're the head of council. You should be concerned about whatever
That's why I have constituted a very competent contracts committee who should review this and advise.
Who should advise? And when they advise, are you bound to follow their advice?
That advice should come to the council. The council can deliberate and decide whether to take that advice.
So the council is not bound by the advice of the committees.
The council is not bound by any.
So it means the council can review the advices that come to council.
They can't review and debate. It's a democratic process.
And if you do not have the competence to know whether what they are advising you is genuine or not, how can you override their advice? Did you hear what I said?
Sorry, I don't know. The secretary gave me a document. I don't know what it's for.
All right, Mr. Kamala, please don't interrupt the witness. May I please see the document you gave the witness? I said that if the advice, if you're not bound by their advice, any committee, and you don't have the competence, I mean, council itself don't have the competence to decide whether a certain document now the register is just saying that the document is from one of your the team or the people regarding the document is supposed to be for you. I have instructed him to wait after the sessions that they can give you documents so you can review them if it is coming from them. So the documents we have are the ones that are admitted here so that we can deal with that. So any other document, we can give you time so that you can familiarize yourself with those documents. So let's proceed. Now, the voucher that you have, let me just
Please repeat the question so that we can have the answer from the witness.
yes.
The earlier question.
All right. My earlier question is if the advice of the committees are not binding, right? It means the council should be able to have a discussion to either accept or refuse to accept the recommendations, correct? So if council doesn't have the competence to on the issue, what will council be deciding?
The committee is a body of council charged with the expertise to decipher these documents and recommend to its council. So it will recommend its council. Most times council takes recommendations of committees, but councillors are elected to protect the interests of their areas. Depending on the circumstances surrounding the matter, councillors vote. If majority vote in favor, then the matter is adopted. If majority deny, then the matter is rejected.
Let me have the document. Now, the payment voucher, let me just highlight the materials for 4 football fields. It has no indication that it is coming from George Tier. You agree with me? Because it is written in by a pen by George Tier and there is no signature. You agree with that?
I cannot assess that. It says it's by George Tier, so I assume it's by George Tier.
Is George Tier a name?
I would presume so.
So you don't know whether George Tier is a name?
It says George. George is a name.
Is George Tier a name?
George Tier seems like a name.
It seems like a name, so you're not sure whether it is a name.
I didn't write the name and I don't know the name, so it seems like a name.
So if you don't even know that George Tier is a name, how would you know the documents are authentic?
I'm not sure
if you can't, if you can't even know whether George Tier is a name, how would you know the document is authentic?
I said George Tier seems like a name.
Seems
somebody,
right?
Because George is a name.
Right.
Now I don't know what exactly I don't know exactly how you want me to answer.
No, we are talking about the authentication of that document, whether the document is valid or not, whether information on that document. I had asked you, is there anything on that document that will give you enough information to suggest it is from an institution, is from a business, the name of the business, the letterhead, the stamp, the signature of the proprietor or the business owner? Is there anything of that sort?
The name is there and the telephone number is
the name of
George Tier.
So now George Tier is a name.
Seems like a name.
Seems like a name. Okay, which business?
I don't know the business.
Okay, so what does George Tier do?
I don't know what. Well, it says workmanship. I don't know. Welding rod.
That's
cutting this black pipe, 6mm rod.
That's what George Tier does. How do you know that?
I don't know. What is the question there?
Exactly. That's what George Tier does in business?
I don't know George Tier. I don't know the invoice.
Right.
I don't know what George Tier does.
Right.
But it is not my expert area to know.
Right.
It is not my role to investigate what George Tier does.
Right.
That is the role of the procurement unit and the contracts committee.
Good. Now it is brought to your attention. Is it, would you have an interest in knowing whether the data that is from council that is paid to supposed George Tier, whether it is an authentic payment or not?
What I do know is the goalposts were built because I myself scored a goal in the one at buffer zone.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. The goalposts.
Okay.
I visited most of the goalposts during my mayoral tours.
How were they built?
I see it's just standard goalposts.
So, but you don't know how they were built.
I assume through this project.
Why would you assume?
It's through the goalpost project.
Why?
I think this is the goalpost project.
Why would you assume? If it is to assume, anybody can be a mayor.
Goalpost and nets project.
If it's just to assume and to just not know and to just not be able to even have a suspicion that the document is not authentic, anybody can be a mayor if that's the case. The law requires amendment to section 15 that the mayor shall be the head of council and supervise the general administration of the area, including dealing with its rules, regulations, and taxes. Are you familiar with this?
Yes.
How would you supervise this if you do not know anything about procurement regulations?
That's why I said, I, as mayor, my role is to set up the structures of council with
Right.
expert areas.
Right,
A voucher cannot be presented to me
Right.
without understanding the circumstances,
right,
without understanding exactly how the voucher emanated.
right,
That's why I use words,
Right.
I presume, I
Right.
assume.
right,
Now, if you want me to go on a fact-finding mission
right,
about the generation of the voucher,
Right.
who it was, I can ask the CEO in the affirmative.
right,
But I can tell you, I am a witness to seeing these goalposts in the municipality.
right,
In fact, I scored a goal
right,
at the buffer zone
right,
when the goalposts were being presented
Right.
to the youths of the buffer zone. So I am aware there's a goalpost project, but I cannot use words in the assertive
Right.
without doing my own verifications. That would be irresponsible of me.
No, then ask for time to verify.
That's why I said I presume.
No, just ask for time to do verification because what I ask you is within your mandate. Again, read the amendment of section 15. What I am asking you is within your mandate. I am not asking you any question that is outside your mandate. And so if you say, well, I do not have an idea about this, I need time to review it, we can definitely grant that. Can you please kindly read section?
Familiar mandate, the head of the council and supervise the general administration of the area, including dealing with its taxes, rules, regulations. I don't see how that has to do with me verifying a voucher presented to me and an invoice presented to me. And
Okay,
it's not my department, and I have not consulted the people responsible.
okay. Can you kindly read the amendment to section 15?
Where is that amendment? Section?
15, the amendment to section 15.
Okay. Amendment of section 15 of the Principal Act is amended in subsection 1 by substituting for paragraph B the following new paragraph. Be the head of the council and supervise the general administration of the area, including dealing with its rules, regulation, and taxes. I think I read that.
Good. So your role is clear. So we are asking the right persons as the head of the council. You agree? Do you agree?
Say it again, sorry.
I
Yes,
said-
yes.
Good. And so that the law, all the regulations require that expenditures of council must be in compliance with regulations. That is the Finance Ability Act, the Gambia Public Procurement Act. It has to be in accordance with the regulations, correct?
Yes.
Good. And so the procurement is mandatory. It's not discretionary. That following procurement process is mandatory by council, correct?
By the council.
Yes. Good. So that number one, making payment to even Kemo Bojang of this amount to procure goalpost would not be in line with procurement requirement, correct?
Giving Kemo Bojang money
Yes,
will not be in line.
yes,
Yes, I agreed to that before. I said yes, it would be
good,
lapse.
good. So that if it is a lapse, should Kemo Bojang pay the money back or not?
Yeah, so this is another thing. I cannot make that determination
Right.
without understanding the circumstances. If I told these goalposts were built,
Right.
I'm saying it has,
Right.
then I don't think Kemo Bojang should pay that money.
Good.
Now, in terms of the lapse,
Right.
it should go through the right administrative processes to
Right.
determine whether it is an illegality or violation.
Right. So now the issue regarding the goalposts, you've played there and you've scored a goal.
Yes.
Who made those goalposts?
I don't know.
You don't know. You had an institution, and hundred and something $1,000 has been paid from taxpayers' money to be supposedly to procure goalpost. Number one, it did not pass through the proper channel, procurement process. Number two, it was paid to an individual that it was not supposed to be paid to, because he is not part, he's neither the supplier nor part of the contracts committee to even take part in procurement. You saw the goalpost and you do not know where the goalpost is from.
Lead counsel, I believe the role of the mayor
Right.
is dynamic.
Right.
The role of the mayor is to set up structure,
Right.
to allow those structures to work.
Right.
I've said before,
Right.
the council has almost $3 billion worth of revenue.
Right.
We have thousands of initiatives and projects.
Right.
I am not a dictator.
Right.
Things are not centered in my office.
Right.
We work with decentralized structures.
Right.
The council is moving in 1,000 different parts.
Right.
I supervise the general administration of the area
Right.
to ensure we are moving generally
Right.
in the right direction
Right.
to deliver the best quality of life to the people of KMC. It's impossible for me to know every detail, and that is not my role.
Now, the Audit Act requires that council, and the law itself, that council should know of every How would you know you pay $200,000 to procure, let's say, furniture, and you would not have a delivery note or have evidence of delivery?
That's why I said generally speaking. However, if you want to pinpoint me to a specific policy or procedure, we can look at that.
So you don't know. Just tell me I don't know so that I can guide you.
Generally speaking, common sense, yes.
No, common sense is not what the law is. The law is specific and direct.
That's why I'm asking, can you refer me to that section?
No, at my own time, Mr. Benson.
Okay.
So now you know about examination and receipt committees?
Say it again.
Examination and receipt committees.
And the Local Government Act?
No, in the Gambia Public Procurement Act. There is what we call examination and receipt committee, so that when the council procures something, there will be a committee to examine that what you have procured is what was delivered in the manner in which you have agreed. So there will be value for money also as well. Are you familiar with this?
I believe I've heard somebody talk about it, but no.
Are you familiar with this? Is the question.
I said no. I've heard it being talked about.
Why
We have never discussed it.
Why is it difficult to just say no?
because it's not black and white.
No. You see, when the millions of councils are managed by the general council, which is the case, correct?
Millions of
The funds of council, the finances of council are managed primarily by the general council, correct?
hold on, let me use. So I think the separation of powers, right, is that the council budgets, right, the CEO manages that budget and is answerable to the council for the management of that budget.
So what does that mean?
The CEO manages the accounts of council.
And then what is council's role?
To create the budget and to monitor the CEO in the execution of that budget.
So does council have overall authority over the finances of council?
Yes, overall.
Good. Financial autonomy requires that each council has autonomy over its financial matters. And the members of council are the councillors, and you as the mayor or the chairman or the mayoress, as the case may be, as being the head of council.
Can you repeat that, please?
The general council has financial autonomy.
Yes.
Good. And so the councillors, the chairman or mayor or mayoress, as the case may be, is the head of council. Going by
chairperson.
Yes, the law says head of council.
Yeah.
The law did not use the word chairperson. I think I gave it to you and you read it. I can give it to you again.
It's the same, chairperson or head.
That's why I'm using the text of the law. It says the head of council, right? So that if the council has financial autonomy, you are responsible for the finances of council. Do you agree? Council is responsible for the finances of council.
The council, you ask whether council is responsible for the management of the resources. That's why I wanted to create a distinction.
I don't think
we are responsible, but we are not managing the resources.
Okay. I do not think I used the word management.
Okay, I think that's what I.
Right. But it is the responsibility of council, even if you use the word manage, it's the responsibility of council to even manage overall management of the finances of council. The overall management lies with the general council. Is that a factual statement or a false statement?
The general management.
No, overall management.
The overall management. That's why I don't know whether we are.
The CEO is answerable to council,
but manages the council finances
at a day-to-day basis. Then reports to a higher body, correct?
Yes.
In the functions of the CEO.
In the management of those resources.
Yes, in the management of those resources.
Yeah.
So reports to a higher body that it is answerable to, correct?
Yes.
In the execution of his or her functions, correct?
Yes.
So that makes council the overall, having the overall responsibility for the managing the affairs of the finances. Is that a correct statement?
The overall.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. Now, that voucher, I think I gave you a voucher, right? The second voucher.
Premier voucher.
Right. What is the payment for?
This is a payment for the cost of rehabilitation of a football field goalpost, a net of 3 wards in the municipality. Amount is 153,000 to Kemo Bojan. And the memo is youth councillor to the Lord Mayor, and it goes, Sir, I wish to write to request for your support in the rehabilitation of a goalpost and purchase of post nets for Bakau, Latrikunda, German, and Ibo Town. The total amount of the goalposts and nets is totaled at 153,150 only. Find the attached invoice, counting on your usual cooperation and approval. The deputy mayor writes to the CEO and says, please facilitate. The director of finance approves and the accounts unit processes. There's inventory of items or invoice,
Right.
or a BOQ, I'm not sure, or by George Tier, totaling 124,650, and labor cost 25,000. And then there's a letter behind that is Lord Mayor, the Carnegie Municipal Council, from the youth councillor, saying, I wish to write for the acknowledgement of receiving 153,000 only for the rehabilitation of goalposts and purchase of post nets for Bakau, Latrikunda, German, and Ibo Town from Council. I thank you for your tireless efforts. Signed, Youth Councillor Kemo.
Now, did that payment have any indication it has passed through the contract committee?
No, I don't see any indication.
Okay. Who was the payee?
Kemo Boyan?
Would that be in line with regulation?
In line with my previous answer, is a lapse.
It's a lapse. Good. May I please have that? Now, again, this in fact is handwritten. The bill of quantity is handwritten. We have George Tier, we have a signature, and we don't know whether there's no letterhead, no business name. You agree with me on those?
Based on the
Yes.
document I saw.
Yes. And so another important thing I want to discuss before we conclude on Kemo Bojan's issue is that suppliers are required to register with GPPA. Do you know this?
Yes.
Do you know whether Georgia is a supplier that registered with GPPA?
I don't have that information.
Okay. If Georgia did not register with GPPA, would that not be incorrect?
Now, I have to refer to the GPPA rules to abreast myself with the issue exactly. But generally, I believe procurement should involve GPPA for companies.
You're not sure, or you're sure? If you're sure,
I have to verify. I can go back and come back.
So, okay, no problem. We can note that down, that you will come back with that information. But I can tell you, sitting here, GPA also testified as well. The law is here. You can acquaint yourself with it later. That is a requirement that there should be pre-registration and qualification of bidders. And so that is something that is basic for every economic operator. Economic operators are in councils or any institution that is engaging in public procurement. So if Georgia did not register, the law is that would not be correct. Let me read to you the Gambia Public Procurement Act 2022 on page 39, 32.2, eligibility and qualifications of economic operators. Notwithstanding Section 31, and unless otherwise specified in the solicitation documents, participation in the invitation to bid and in award of contracts shall be open on equal terms. Natural persons, companies or firms, associations or public or semi-public agencies, cooperative societies and other legal entities governed by public or private law, and C, joint ventures, consortium, or association of firms. And the proviso reads, who shall be registered with the authority in accordance with regulations. So do you now see that it is a pre-requirement? It's a requirement.
Okay, I'll confirm.
You're not satisfied. Do I give you the act?
You can give me the act, but
you still need to confirm still.
I would rather do my consultations.
Okay.
But I'm not doubting what you're saying.
That's okay. We'll give you time. Yeah.
He should be given time.
Yes, give you time. All right. Just hold this. Now, may I have that? Let's say,
There's nothing here.
okay, you have one thing. All right. So we move to other issues. The guy, you're done with Kemo Sisi. Karamu, sorry. Is it Kemo Bojang? I have another set of vouchers. But before I proceed on these vouchers, well, let me just proceed with the vouchers. These are the last set of vouchers for today. We have payments that were made by way of honorarium from KMC. Now, honorarium, is this captured in your budget?
I believe so.
Good.
I have to confirm. But
And we have the 2018 budget, and there is honorarium. Now, do you have a policy or a guideline in relation to honorariums and how they are to be paid?
honorariums, I don't think so, no.
You don't think so? So, if there are no guidelines and procedures, then how would they be authorized for, like the payments of honorariums?
Can you refer me to a specific honorarium?
Yes.
Because they might be different.
Okay. We have this voucher here. It is the voucher number PV180818. The exhibit is LGC/KC/KMC/003. That has to do with the honorariums, and there's a general council resolution, I believe. That that voucher as well is okay. Go ahead.
Okay, you want me to read the voucher? Okay, it says the payee is sundry person paid from EcoBank, being payment for honorarium to councillors, exercise as general council resolution attached. The budget is charged to the mayor's office honorarium. That's the budget, so I presume there's a budget. It is supported by a general council resolution. Okay, General Council Resolution number 2. Whereas the status of the council financial situation was earlier discussed at the General Council meeting of 31st May 2018, and whereas members expressed their concern on the state of revenue generation and maximization for the council, and whereas members, in order to comprehend and study the gaps existing in the current system revenue collection, whereas members began the exercise on 2nd July 2018 and completed it on 25th July 2018, resolved that $400 per day be calculated and paid for the duration of the exercise as honorarium to members, adopted this day of August 2018 at the chambers of the Carnegie Municipal Council. Your office is therefore urged to act accordingly. Signed, Usman Gay, Clerk to Council, and assented by Musa Ba, Deputy Mayor of Council. The other supporting document is it says budget for market research by councillors. Commencement date 2nd July 2018, end date 25th July, but then corrected to 27th July 2018. The items noted there are breakfast, lunch, and transport refund. And there was a remark, the work was done by 26 councillors for this period of 25 days, and it was successfully carried out.
Were you aware of these payments to the councillors?
I've heard it discussed at the commission, and I remember the exercise.
Okay. What was exercise?
I think the exercise was about maximization of revenue and looking at the maintenance gaps at the various markets.
Right. Was this exercise carried out?
It was.
How many days?
I believe for the duration, because I myself, I partaked in the, I don't know how to say it. I was a member of one of the people doing the exercise.
You were a member of?
I was one of the people doing the exercise.
Okay, you took part in this exercise.
I took part in the exercise.
For how many days?
First, for the entire duration. It was one of our first council exercises.
Right.
My role was to look at the setting up of market committees,
Right.
was to look at the maintenance gaps at markets,
Right.
because it was one of the critical points of our campaign.
Right.
Politics is very centered around markets.
True.
KMC has 19 markets, and all of them were in disrepair. This was a very useful exercise at the time.
Okay. Now, the head of the, I think, finance committee, Mr. Is it Karamo?
Yeah.
Is said to have led this exercise. Now, there's a report attached, right?
Yeah. Councillor Karamo Sise.
Yes. Now, he explained that the assignment it had a structure. It had a structure. Can you recall the structure?
I cannot recall the details of this. It was, I think, recommended. I remember the Council of Latrikunda Sabiji,
Right.
but I think the disbursement was made by the Finance Committee Chair, which is Karamo Sise.
Okay. And he explained to the commission that there were division of groups to visit different markets. Was that how it occurred?
I don't remember the modalities exactly. It was a long time ago, but it was the first initiative of the council.
Right.
What I remember was the reports from the different councillors. I remember particularly the councillor of Bakau, Lamin Diba,
Right.
who reported that when the collectors were going along, they were reporting half the revenue
Right.
than when he joined them. That comment I remember very clearly.
Okay. So, but you could not remember the structure.
No.
You don't know whether they were into groups or it was a single, just one group.
No, they organized themselves.
Okay. If you were given time, would you be able to recall your thoughts as to how it was structured?
I can, because there's been a lot of discussion about it, to be frank. We've been discussing how it was a long time ago.
Right.
What I remember was I generated 2 initiatives from that.
Right.
And what that was the total overhaul of Serakunda market,
Right.
including the building of the market shed,
Yes.
the redevelopment of Latumba Low Road, and the building of, I think, the soccer way or toilets around the market. I cannot.
Yes.
But that's what inspired me to rehabilitate Serakunda market.
Yeah, that's why I asked if we were to give you time, would you be able to give us the exact structure of the? It should be
If
documented.
it's not in this documentation or any documentation submitted, I will still ask the individuals who were participating.
Okay. And then the various groups, let me have the document. The various groups that are said to have been constituted for there to be a master report, because Karamo is the one who signed this report. Would I be right? Karamo signed his report. Going by my recollection, yes, Karamo Sisi signed this report. And Karamo Sisi admitted that he cannot be everywhere. If there was a division, he said there was a division of labor, there were various groups, so he can't be in all these groups, right? And so would it not be just proper and prudent that there are, if there are groups, that then you will have different reports from each group that you will compile? Would that not be proper?
Right. So Karamo structure, I think like I said, the Latrikuna Sabiji
Right.
Council raised the issue
Right.
about the suppression of revenue at the markets.
Yes.
Markets are uncontrolled and unstructured and informal.
Yes.
And that's where the suggestion came that for us to address that issue
Yes.
ourselves with how much revenue is being suppressed in the market, we will go and monitor these markets. But my role specifically was to look at the maintenance issues and the governance issues. From
Yes.
there, I believe we changed the Serakunda Market Committee and we instituted market committees in Talinding, Yafat,
Yes.
Latrikunda, Savage, and other markets.
Okay. So that was why I'm now asking if there are various groups. So before you have a master report, you would have had group reports, because then Karamo would not be present in all these. I've asked him these questions and he admitted he would not be present in all these groups.
Yeah, Karamo would be the best answer.
It's because payment was made when there is doubt, or let me not say doubt, when there is no evidence on the face of the document that this exercise was conducted. Right. So that it will ask these questions. So that there is no evidence that these subgroups have mini reports, you can call them, or reports that are now used to compile and have the master report, correct?
So I would agree with Karamo that if he admits that it should have been better structured, he was in charge of that, then yes, he should have better structured it. And if there's anybody who says that they did not partake in it, then I think they should not receive the monies.
Yes. And do you not think individual, even in the with regard, not even considering Karamo's position, do you not think where you have subgroups, where you have a masterpiece, you must have known each group's activity and what they have found so that you can make your report?
I guess these modalities are determinant of who created it. So, like I said, it's best for Karamo to respond.
Yes, but Karamo is now being supervised. Karamo is now being checked. Karamo now has to be checked by, because his powers are not absolute. Karamo does not operate in vacuum. So that when the Karamo does something that is inadequate or seemingly inadequate by the supervisory body, there is no problem raising questions or asking questions, correct?
So I think the finance committee should structure that. And
Yes.
the administration should ensure there is proper procedure.
Should the general council be interested in the modalities because they approved it?
As a body, yes.
Yes, did they do that?
I think the general council was satisfied with the exercise.
Is there any evidence of that?
Yes, I think there was a satisfaction. My memory that there's physical evidence, but my memory and my testimony today is there was a general satisfaction there, and there was, like I said, reports back when I was chairing that session, that there was notice, especially in the Bakau market, of a suppression of revenue.
Yes.
And this motivated us. One thing I tried to initiate, because markets are sprawling. Markets have large portions that are tabled by women and kiosks. I remember we had a big kiosk problem. We were saying, how about we now serialize these kiosks? Because market revenue is very hard to detect.
Yes.
And we always suspected it's the highest suppression of revenue.
Yes.
It's been a very elusive and difficult thing to track.
Right.
So that's why we were thinking that market revenue may be the biggest revenue in the council, but we must be able to map the council. But I can tell you categorically clear from my memory, we were very satisfied and very proud that we were able to notice that there are big lapses in markets.
Okay. So for me, it's not the idea that there is a certain degree of genuineness in doing that exercise. Now the question is centered around whether the exercise is in fact occurred. So my role here is to test the evidence of the witnesses in relation to making sure whether this exercise really occurred. and so that the evidence that I've been given, I have to test it with and try to see the veracity of that of those statements. So that one, we talked about the report, and the beneficiaries of these payments were the councillors, so that it is just common sense that they will not just come back to general council and discredit the same payments they have received. That wouldn't make this to question the same payment that they endorsed. The question of who policies the police. You understand? The very general council endorsed, by a resolution we have seen, endorsed these payments, right? So that they would not now come back and question the same payment they have endorsed.
And that's why we have external bodies like the National Audit Office and the Ministry.
Yes.
Who should look at the accounts and let us know
Exactly.
whether, that's why, like you rightly said,
Right.
we cannot be judge, juries, and execution.
Right.
So there's people to check the
Right. Right.
and those are the bodies I just mentioned.
Okay, that's why I'm asking these questions again. So that for Karamu, number one, it was put to him through the questions he was asked. He was asked. And then that there is no compilation of reports to indicate that there were different groups. And even if you look at the report, you will see that he specifically uses the refer to the exercise as if it was one unit. For instance, the two members went around to review the receipts on lessons. One problem they saw, it was general. It suggests that it was just one group. The three members went around to inspect the sanitization aspect in the market. The 5, 6, and 7 members visited Latukuda, Sabidi, Fajikunda, and Abuko markets and virtually saw the same problems. Ticket duplicates were traced and inconsistent payments on the license. The 8 members directed their exercise to Talinding Central, Talinding Jilifiti, Bundung Market Bohol, and last, the Bundung Market. Now, did you have time to scrutinize this report as head of council?
I cannot remember. It's a long time ago. And can I ask what date is on
the report? Okay, that's another interesting question. I do not see a date on the report from what I see. There is no date. But let me just hand it to you again so that you may on the report itself. No, there is no date on it.
the voucher is on August, I believe, August 9th.
Yes, but the
request is August 2nd.
Do you have a date for the report?
Yes, there's no, that's why I wanted to ask. There's no date on the report. What I was, okay, there's an agenda here. So this was, I believe, 2 months into office. So I'm thinking maybe I should check if the relevant committees that should have exercised oversight on this were set up or not. I would like to verify that as well.
Very well, no problem. But it's confirmed that there's no date on the.
There's no date.
Okay.
I believe it's a convenient point, but before we conclude and rise, please let's admit, please check the document that was given to you by the witness. And if you so wish to submit it for admission, you may do so.
Yes, but we have to admit it, and then we have let me just conclude on this and have it admitted if the chair permits, and then we'll have 2 or 1 topic to conclude so that if we are permitted, we can conclude that and then rise if it is permitted.
You have 2 more
one or two issues to deal with for today. If the chair permits, then we can conclude on that. But let me just round up this document and have this
Please
document.
round up that document and let's have the document admitted.
Now, the the signature, the signatures as well that you see that indicate that this is different from what you are to check. The signature that is attached to the payment vouchers and the documents there. Please have a look at them.
You mean the signature of the register?
Yes, yes, for those who attended this. Mr. Karamo accepted that all of these people signed the same day. If I can have
Sorry?
said Mr. Karamo accepted, if to the best of my recollection, that all these people signed the same day. So you have so many days of
They
inside
signed the same day.
they and collected the
Verify that they attended all these days.
Yes. If that is the case, would that be correct?
I think they should sign as they come in.
Yes.
I think that should be the common sense thing to do.
All right.
But then
That's fine. Would I leave it at that with respect to the voucher? But just to be fair on you as well, there's um, uh, also another voucher that bears your name for this exercise of $10,000 is the voucher number is PV1808339. That was raised by the chairman finance committee and the acting chief executive officer on the 17th of August 2018. That will make the total honorarium paid to be $270,000.
yes.
Okay. You confirm that, receiving that amount?
Yes.
May I please have it? Now, the last question on this is, would you be able to guide us when you furnish us with extra information with respect to these payments, the revenue head, the budget head that was the in the budget as to where the justification of this payment from
Which one?
this honorarium. We need to have the justification for the payment of this honorarium.
You mean the total honorarium?
Yes, oh yes. The idea that in fact honorarium was paid to the councillors of this amount. We need to see the what was council's justification in expending the finances of council through honorarium.
I believe in your attached document there's a resolution.
Right.
Right.
But the expenditure of council must be in line with budgetary approval.
So in the voucher I've seen it charged to a budget line called honorarium.
Right. So
like I said, I presume if it's charged, there must be a budget line.
Okay. So we will want you to guide us through that budget line as to them justifying this payment because it was sanctioned by the council itself.
Whether it was sanctioned.
But it was sanctioned. We see the resolution signed by your deputy. You yourself said you attended. So we want to know the justification in the budget. It has been referenced so that you as the head of council will be able to guide us with respect to these particular payments that it has been budgeted for. This is the column, and then we are in line. The amount is within the budgetary amount.
I can find information, but like you've said, the deputy mayor chaired that specific council meeting. I was aware of the exercise. I participated in the exercise. Why I was not in that meeting, I cannot even recall. But I will find out the facts.
Yes. I would have asked the deputy mayor. And then if you were not a beneficiary of the honorarium, I would have asked the deputy mayor. But then I would take it that you ratified the actions of the deputy mayor when there is a resolution that sanction the payments of these honorariums.
Can you say it again?
I said I would take it. Would it not be correct that you have ratified the actions of the general council by virtue of you participating and being receiving the?
I think it's a good exercise. Yes, participated.
Yes.
I said you asked for the exact justifications, etc.
Right.
I said I have told you what I recollect.
Right.
In the factual nature you wanted.
Right.
That's why I said I will also have to ask the deputy mayor because he chaired that specific.
Okay, you will ask them. Okay, now we have the documents here that the witness submitted for it to be tendered. The first is a letter from Sengo Law Practice. The date is 27th of August 2025. It is list of cases handled on behalf of Cardiff Municipal Council. We have a list provided, Cardiff Municipal Council cases 1 to 27. The High Court suit number HC/894/23/CO/172 D2. Civil suit number HC 673/19/CO/191 D2. Civil number HC 91223/CO/184 D2. High Court Civil Suit number HC 89323/CO/171 D2. Civil Suit number High Court 04020/CO/003 D2. High Court Suit number 68719/CO/197 D2. Civil Suit number HC 91023/CO/182 D2. Civil Suit number HC 89023/CO/169 D2. Civil Suit number HC 89123/CO/170 D2. Civil Suit number HC 90223/CO/176 D2. HC 67219/CO/190 D2. HC 67919/CO/195 D2. HC 147/CO/02202. Miscellaneous application number HC 75523 MF239 F1. Civil Suit number HC 91123 CO/183 D2. Civil Suit number HC 09420 C012 and D2, civil suit number KMC CS-172 of 2017, HC60820 CL153BO, HC02222 MF004A1, HC003119 CO002 and D2, HC64019 CO183 and D2, HC64119 CO184 D2, HC67819 CO194 D2, HC58219 CO176 D2, Supreme Court, the Gambia, suit number 001 of 2023, KMC. The Gambia Court of the Gambia, case number KMC CS 129 of 2021. High Court of the Gambia, civil suit number 67719 CO 193 D2. These documents to be admitted to evidence and marked as exhibits.
The witness presented the various judgments, rulings from the relevant courts. Sengor Law Practice presented a cover note for list of cases that her chambers has conducted on behalf of Carnival Municipal Council, numbering 27. The cover note is dated the 27th of August 2025. It has reference 62 slash KMC slash volume 3 slash 09 slash SPL. And it has the subject list of cases handled on behalf of Carnival Municipal Council. It is signed by Yasin Sengor and a file copy is maintained. The High Court judgments are 21. There is one Brikama Magistrate Court judgment, 2 High Court rulings, 1 Carnival Magistrate Court ruling, and 1 Supreme Court judgment. These documents are admitted together in a bond as exhibit in evidence, and they are marked as LGC slash KFC slash TAB slash 005.
Pass the commission, please. Just to before I proceed, do we have the documents that the witness submitted yesterday? The exhibits. Let me see the family where. What is it? I just want to show you. I think
I indicated that this is going to be the last item for today. We will be rising. We have already admitted this, and we will proceed. Mr. Honorable Mayor Bensuda, we will give you time to put together your documents, and we will see you on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
All right? Thank you. We will rise.
Thank you.